So, Monday, just had my lunch, and today, or this morning, I've been working on this one. Pretty much every single time it's got a crack, but only on the right hand side, which is a bit weird. And the initial thing was there was a crack all the way around there. They wanted to get the pins so they had grease in them, and then it needs to sharpen in a minute. But then, yeah, we noticed every single time there's a crack up the side, pretty much. Another one there you can see with the water's coming out. So that one will get ground out and done. The other thing I learnt, obviously Hardock's tines, if you don't preheat it, it's almost like you haven't got the gas turned on your welder, which that's new to me. I did not know that, so I have learnt something new today. While he's been painting the stains, come back and do the other side, I'd imagine, at some point, and then the rest of the inside. Then when the shear grab is done, I'm going to make the pipe for that one. While he's gone to get his lunch, but also he's going to get one of those to put on, and then that is pretty much done. Finally, about time. So then I think when that's out and he's finished painting that one, we can get this one on the tractor, wash it off, you know, take it outside, wash it off, you know, just leave it outside momentarily. Then, because the lights need finishing up on that one, I can get in with something with lights. I would like to make a little sort of ammunition case where I can put a 7-pin light plug on it. Is it a 13-pin? Or however many the other pin plug is. And a 3-pin plug, so then, you know, if a trailer's there, you can just plug it in off like a Milwaukee battery, so you can test lights and whatever. But anyway, less waffling, more doing. I don't know why at the moment it just seems I spend my entire life with a grinder in my hands, but there we go. That's grinding out the cracks for ready to weld it up, and then heat it up a bit with the lance of death, then get the welder and find out we have completely run out of wire. Joy. That's about right for a Monday, isn't it? Luckily for my sorry arse, James Price Tractors actually had the last roll of 0.8 MIG wire on the shelf ready to go, so that was that job finished. And this is actually how fast Wally works. This is not sped up 10 times on a time lapse. This is him at real speed. I am absolutely smashing the time lapses today. What I'm making here is a new brake pipe for Sanders Dairies, because we all know I am Sanders Breakdown Service. And also making a pipe for the tanker to do the sluice gate there. There's me scrabbling around on the floor, putting it in. Job done. Well, that's good to see he's full of glee. At least somebody is. Anyway, that is the sluice gate on, the splash plate on, the quick fit coupling is on. I think that is pretty much ready at this point. So, yeah. I think it's in next week. You see the transformation of the barrel. It's amazing. She blows. Look at me go, painty, 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 in my bobble hat, John Deere green, best colour in the world. Woohoo! Loving life in the stains. So that's inside and outside of that one done with John Deere green, as opposed to previous people that repaired it. They used grey. Why you do that, I don't know. Anyway, I've got this shaft off. I thought the cross thing was worn out, but it turns out it's just got a bit of float side to side, which really it is all right. I had a second opinion from the sandwich van is here. I had a second opinion from Prices, I did win, because obviously that was snapped off in there. That is actually what victory does look like, but yeah. So what I'll do with that is, while it's off, well, if you look at that grease nipple, that's still got all the factory paint on it. So yeah, I shall grease the living life out of that one. This one doesn't actually pivot much, because obviously it's straight across from the gearbox. However, I think that bottom seal needs doing, so it's leaking a bit, but yeah, I think what I'll do now is get some caps, put it on the 210, take it outside and wash it off, and take the rest of the bed out. I'll do that while it's in here actually. But yeah, that is all good. Stain's pretty much done. Hopefully when Wally gets back he can finish off doing the lights, which would be marvellous. Then we can wheel it out and put the wheels back on. However, still waiting for the equalisers, they call them, for the centre of the axles, because apparently there's a big shipment waiting to come in and everybody wants them, so hopefully we'll get 2. Eddie Staines, which this one has come from, does have a lot of them apparently, so, but anyway, I'm going to get that out. When I say Eddie Staines has a lot of them, I mean he buys a lot of them, not has a lot, because then I'd just get them off him, because that would just make sense. But anyway, yeah, next. Wednesday morning, I've had an accident with the Flymo, and Wally is back with the Zeta 2-seater. So we're going to try and unload that, put it in the back corner, and then we can see what is what. Don't crash, Wally. You're on camera. You're on camera. I think Marcus will be in hot pursuit somewhere as well, actually. Right, let's get that one done then. See, the ramps on this new trailer of Mr. Singh's are that good that they don't even touch the floor. So I don't have to worry about dropping them anymore. Brand new, never been used. God, Wally's taken its virginity. My yard is far too full of junk at the moment. That tanker's going to go any day soon. I just need to wash it, and I don't know about everything else, but this will be fun unloading it because the brakes are locked on. The link arms are stuck down as well. They won't do anything, but then you hit the floor, then it only lifted it up a tiny little bit. Well, this is true. So yeah, and the PTO won't go around. But anyway, we need to sort out in here to get it over there. It's on camera that you are in a Zeta. Zetor to Zetor. No jackiness left on the jack. But I said they're quite tight. It's a bit of GT85 now in stock at SBS. Well, that is a start. That is definitely a start. So you wouldn't move at all then. Okay boys, you ready? Break! Let's go! So all manner of thing is about to occur here. We're having a shuffle around in the workshop. Marcus is washing the big old Zeta off. Wally's going to commit an OSHA violation in about 2 seconds time. And the stains is the closest thing to being finished that is in the yard. Now, it does seem that I have a bajillion different things all started, but then nothing ever gets finished. But it's finally leaving the workshop. And then the final job, finally, after all this time, the last final thing to finally do, after we'd put the wheels on, was check that there was, that wheel bearing there was a bit wobbly. Turned out it was, but somehow the nut had just slackened itself off. But that's all fine. Tighten that one up, put the wheels on, ooga-dooga them up. Job is a fish. Now, I was kind of doing this little scene here as a big reveal of, oh my god, look how amazing the tanker looks now we've cleaned it. But now I look back on it, it doesn't actually look that great now. But we then hit it with a wire brush the day after, and all the brown bits were actually blue underneath. So I don't know what it was. It was like the rust had sort of streaked across the top of the paint, but the whole thing, like the front was pretty much brown, but now the front is blue and the barrel's blue. I think you can get some sort of acid that you wash it with and it just takes that off, but I don't know what it was. But Wally spent the day with the wire brush and it came up absolutely brilliantly. And so it is the evening of the next day, or late afternoon because it's getting dark. What we're doing is lifting the body off the trailer chassis to get ready to flip it over so I can then cut the body chassis off the body to then build the new body on the body chassis. We chucked 2 straps over because the first time we tried it, it snapped one and that was not ideal. But and then in the next scene we get nearly to the point where something's going to happen and the camera just turns itself off. And we missed everything. The body hit the door, the straw chopper exploded, the Wiedemann fell over. It was all very dramatic.
That's your fault. Yeah. Whatever.
So it's Friday morning, and lo and behold, camera shut off right at the interesting bit of the video where the trailer body hit the door and Marcus nearly pooed his pants. We've got his Zeta in. What we're going to do is take the wheels off and send those to be shot blasted and powder coated. It does seem that there's not many tractor companies that know how to paint wheel rims. I know New Holland's are utterly terrible for it. JCB paint's really bad. The Teagle's a little bit newer than those ones. Crap. But yeah, look. It's only, what's this? What's that? 20? Not 20. It's 2011, I think it is. Yeah, that'd be right, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's not done bad, but it's just going to make it look a lot nicer. It would be good to sort of find some sort of something to bring the colour back in those. We did try it with a heat gun, but that doesn't work. It works on the plastics, like the front mud guards, but not the back ones. We've got to take the hydraulic top cover off and the two axle trumpets on that one. Coming out here, I don't know if you've seen this yet or not, but look at that. Wally spent all of yesterday with a wire brush. Wire brushing off, I don't even know what you'd call it. It's just like a layer of scum. But that's come up absolutely amazingly. Yeah, so that one hopefully will be going to its new home in a minute. Sanders breakdown service continues with another Dung grab in for some repairs. Obviously Wally washed that off yesterday, and then I made a start on this one. I think what I'll do, either me or Wally will do, is we want to keep this piece. So we're basically just going to build from that upwards again. Complete new tub. Because finally we've got some sense out of the steel company that we're using. So all the steel is ordered and on its way. That'll be in middle end of next week, I think. But no, we want to get that off, back on the body, and then we're all prepped and ready for when it comes, because it's coming cut as well, which makes a big difference, because my bandsaw is terrible. Basically. Yeah, this is what an exploded straw chopper looks like. What do I need to do on this one? At some point I think somebody's tried picking it up from the blower housing, and it's just a little bend in that, and then welder patch in the floor. It's not gone thin, it's just a hole, which I don't quite understand. This has gone a bit thin, but all that does is hold the floor plates up. So, but the rest of that one's absolutely fine. So that is mint. I'm going to do a bit of paperwork this morning, because there's a few people that owe me some money, and I need that to pay other people. So yeah, do that, chasing, and yeah, and then we'll get to doing some interesting things in a bit, hopefully. So let's get to it. It does also seem that I spend most of my time either cutting things up with the gas or heating things up with the gas. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. I actually got that gas set up off a old customer of mine. I literally dragged it out of a dung heap, and I haven't actually had to change that propane tank yet, which is win-win. But obviously the oxygen runs out fairly quickly. But hey-ho. I'll put them in my little house. ground off all those bits, ready for the new stuff. I think I will have to take these braces out because I'll have to notch for the bits of box that I'll be putting in there somewhere. Oh, and we will have to get those pins out as well, because we couldn't get those little bastards to. It is always surprising to see how well a chassis comes up compared to the rest of the body after it's been washed, but then I suppose it's always underneath the body, so it never sees sun or rain very much. And then I think the oil seals on the rams always leak about 3.2 seconds after they leave the factory, so they just cover the chassis in oil. The wheel bearings on this trailer are alright as well. I think it'd be a good idea to get the lights and the brakes working, because it'll be like a brand new trailer. It'll be like a brand new trailer when it's done. And the body chassis itself is really good as well. So right in front of your face where you left it.
I remember that.
I did.
Right in the pocket.
That'll let it flatten. Good golly, Wally. What have you done?
Destroyed it.
There's bits of Zeta everywhere. It's only a Zeta one-seater now. What a mess. Marcus will not be pleased. My wallet will be when I give him the bill, though. While Wally has been deconstructing or dissecting a Zeta, I have got this trailer ready for when the metal comes down. So I've cut off all the bits that we didn't need. And yeah, now we're literally just waiting for steel. I might set Wally off looking at wheel bearings and things in a minute. And yeah, and then scrap the rest of the body. So that is indeed it for another week. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed your week and your weekend, and you've enjoyed the video and Wally being a main character in some places. I think he's rather enjoying being a YouTubist, much like Marcus does. He can't lie about that. Anyway, goodbye.